In today's video, we'll be taking a look at a rather surprising remaster that has been listed for a PlayStation 4 release in Korea. The next Assassin's Creed title and its setting may have been leaked. Battlefield 5 is adding a brand new multiplayer mode, and the upcoming Code Vein will be having its release date revealed very soon, along with the new trailer. More on that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about a very surprising PlayStation 4 remaster of a PlayStation 3 game, and that is Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. Now, this is very surprising because the original Borderlands was released all the way back in 2009, and not only that, we already saw a Borderlands collection be released on the PlayStation 4 in the Borderlands Handsome Collection. Now, that collection didn't include the very first Borderlands game, so that is something to note, but it did include Borderlands 2 as well as Borderlands the pre-sequel with the DLC content. This Borderlands Game of the Year Edition would be the first game with all of the DLC content, and it's been listed by the Korean Gaming Board for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. 2K Games has yet to announce anything official, but considering that Borderlands 3 is expected to be announced in the near future, it would be a rather timely idea to throw in Borderlands Game of the Year Edition as a brand new release. Maybe you could even make it a pre-order bonus for Borderlands 3. I think that might be asking a little bit too much. You could do some sort of collector's edition and then put Borderlands Game of the Year Edition in that way. We saw that be done with Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 5, so that could be something that 2K Games is looking at. Regardless, the first Borderlands game was a very good game. At this point, it is nearing a decade old, so I don't know how many gamers would be excited to see a standalone release of Borderlands 1, but nonetheless, it is a pretty good game, and I, for one, would welcome seeing it being released on the PlayStation 4. Next up, we know that Assassin's Creed is taking a break in 2018. There will be no brand new game, but the next Assassin's Creed game may have been leaked. Today, the French website Jux Video published an image of what appears to be merchandise from a brand new Assassin's Creed game, an Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And it does look to be that this could be a sequel to Assassin's Creed Origins. Assassin's Creed Origins has been a very well-received AC title. I think gamers would be very open to seeing more of that. Now, what's very interesting is that while we're not getting a brand new game in 2018, Ubisoft's E3 conference is right around the corner, and they did mention that they have a game from an unannounced AAA franchise. So I don't know if we're gonna see Assassin's Creed Odyssey at E3 of this year. I feel like it's a little bit too early, especially if this is gonna see a fall 2019 release. Usually with Assassin's Creed, they'll announce it in the spring and then it'll be released the fall of that year, unless there's a complete change of game plans and Assassin's Creed Odyssey is scheduled for a 2018 release. I really hope that isn't the case, as the Assassin's Creed fatigue was very evident when they were seeing yearly releases. I don't want to see Assassin's Creed go back to that because it would take Assassin's Creed right back to where it was. There's no way they could add enough content. Assassin's Creed Origins is still an ever-evolving experience, so why tamper with that right now? Still let that experience evolve, and then you could put out Assassin's Creed Odyssey in 2019. We might hear more. Again, Ubisoft's E3 conference will be happening on Monday, June 11th. That's 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if we're going to hear anything about this at that conference. I would expect not, but maybe we'll see a teaser trailer or something like that. Moving on from that, there's been a lot of talk around Battlefield 5. It'll be releasing in October of this year, and I don't want to get into all of the controversy surrounding the game because I think it's kind of misplaced. Let's talk about the facts, and fact is, there's a new multiplayer mode coming to Battlefield 5 in Airborne. Airborne is going to have players parachute into the combat area by plane, but it's not a battle royale mode. It's not going to be Blackout. It's not going to be Fortnite or anything like that. It's an objective-based attack and defend mode. The details are scarce right now, but it was announced via a tweet, and it says, quote, "You'll parachute into the battlefield and work with your squad to destroy enemy artillery or defend them and make sure the threat from above is dealt with." Battlefield 5 does have a lot of excitement surrounding it. While there is a little bit of controversy, at the same time, we know that there's going to be no DLC content. We know that there's not going to be any gameplay affecting loot boxes, and that is an amazing step in the right direction, especially for a publisher like EA or any publisher, to be honest. At the end of the day, they are just looking to make the most money possible. But with the debacle that was Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think doing as much goodwill as possible to Battlefield fans is absolutely paramount right now, and making sure that Battlefield 5 releases with very little content controversy, at least from things regarding a financial sense and making sure that the game isn't seen and doesn't have the perception of nickeling and diming the player. And that's really what killed Star Wars Battlefront 2 before it even released, so hopefully EA and DICE get it right this time around.
Hello, old friend.
And finally, we've got some news on Code Vein, which is one of those sleeper titles that is coming out this year. Original rumors suggested that it was going to be released earlier on in the year. However, obviously it has not been released up until this point. The game is being developed by the GOTY team and seems to have some resemblance to, say, Dark Souls or Monster Hunter. Seems to be a marriage of those two aspects, but obviously with Code Vein and Bandai Namco as a publisher does have a more anime-influenced art style. And what we know now is that the release date for the game will be revealed on June 5th, and on June 5th we will be getting a brand new trailer as well. There were some rumors going around that the game would be released in July. I would be very surprised if that's the case. We usually don't get a release date announced for a game and then it just releasing a month later unless it's a smaller indie title. Obviously, Code Vein is not a smaller indie title. But then at the same time, if this game releases in the fall, I just think it'll get absolutely murdered with the fall lineup when you have games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Battlefield 5. And even from a Japanese sense, we do have Kingdom Hearts 3 coming in the fall. I think Code Vein would get absolutely obliterated. I do not think it's a good idea to release this game this fall. But really, if you're announcing the release date on June 5th, you would assume that the release would come sometime in the fall unless they do push it back until January, which actually thinking about it right now, I don't think a January release for Code Vein would be all too bad. You kind of escape all of that fall madness. Code Vein's a brand new IP. I think the spring is usually the best time to release a new IP. We saw that with games like Horizon Zero Dawn. That game performed incredibly well. Brand new IP with really no base to work with. Code Vein is kind of similar in that sense. If somehow it could hit a July release window, I think that would be the best. I don't know why more developers and publishers don't release their games in the summer. I think there's a lot of potential for summer releases, but we just never really see that for whatever reason. The summer makes a lot of sense as everyone's out of school, classes are over, and a lot of people have more time to play games. Why not release a new IP like Code Vein when nothing else is releasing and really trying to maximize its potential? But hey, there has to be an underlying reason to why that never happens, but I do not have the answer for that. What I do have the answer for is Code Vein will be having its release date revealed on June 5th along with a brand new trailer. Hopefully it gives us some more insight on what to expect from the game.
今この青い光がですね、この今ミアがですね、防御の連結を張ってくれたシーンですね。
あ、ミアもいろいろやってくれるんですね。
はい、プレイヤーに対してバトルのサポートも行ってくれます。はい。あ、
なんかね、2人来ましたよ。
やばいやばい。ミアよろしく。
ミアはね、遠距離攻撃の人なんで、言ってください。
ちょっと食らっちゃいましたね。こっち見てほしいな。
ちょっとミアがやられてますよ。大丈夫ですか？
本当ですか？ちょっと待ってくださいね。おいおいおいおい。
はい。あ、うまい声敵と分担できましたね。はい。
避ける。
もう一回もう一回。
もう一回もう一回。ジャスト回避を狙ってるんだ。
あ、でも。
なんか、
はい、今青く光ったところが集中
かっこいい、
はい、
めっちゃやり込んでるじゃないですか。
これ本当に見せたかった。
めちゃくちゃやり込んでるじゃないですか。
今のはですね、集中。
So that is going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think about Borderlands Game of the Year Edition for the PS4? Is this something you check out, or is a Borderlands 1 remaster something you don't care about at all? Personally, I like Borderlands 1, but this just seems so weird to me unless it's like a pack-in with Borderlands 3. I just don't really understand it. What do you think about Assassin's Creed Odyssey? It is likely to be set in Greece. Hopefully it isn't released in 2018, but maybe we'll hear something at Ubisoft's E3 conference. Battlefield 5 is getting a brand new multiplayer mode in Airborne. It has you parachuting into combat, so let us know your thoughts on that. And what do you think about Code Vein, and when do you think would be the best time to release this game? Do you think a July release would work, a January release, or do you want to see this game in the fall? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.